Hello YouTube video watchers, welcome to our YouTube channel. This YouTube video is brought to you by Kangaroo Time. So at Kangaroo Time we do three very specific things. We automate the business, so all your payments, all your billing, clocking in, clocking out, keeping track of time with your teachers, everything to do with the business we automate with our child care management system. We also have a classroom automation platform which gives your teachers nudges and prompts at point of care. So feedings, diaper changes, and the ability to communicate with your parents. We also have a world-class parent engagement platform that hardwires your parents and families into the early education experience. So please check us out and enjoy the video. Thanks everybody. Hey, where's everybody coming in from? Hey, everybody. We'll get started here in about 90 seconds. We'll get going. You know, we have panelists. Are you guys all in Buffalo? We didn't.
Yep.
And the weather's good today. I heard 80 degrees this weekend.
Yeah, on Monday it's supposed to be 80, I believe. So it'll be nice. Blue skies right now. So
That's great. We have Corning, New York, and Portage, Indiana. Western New York, all right. Kentucky, Mocksville, North Carolina. You could have just said Minneapolis, but it's a suburb of Minneapolis. All right, while people are joining, I will get started. So thanks everybody for joining us. My name's Scott Wayman. I'm the founder and CEO at Kangaroo Time. I'm lucky to be joined by Chris Riley and by Jenna Hutzler. They are program and social media manager at Parkway Digital. Chris is the creative director. Before we get started, many of you, there's my brother asking me to call him. Many of you, if you aren't aware of Kangaroo Time, we are a software company. We serve early education centers worldwide. We do three very specific things. We have a back-end management platform that handles everything from revenue to human capital management. We have a classroom automation platform for teachers. They can use our platform on a tablet, and it gives them nudges and prompts as to when to change diapers and administer feedings. And then we have a parent engagement platform, so something that allows you to message families and staff. And right now, you know, we know you're all coming back. We also have a scheduling tool. We have all kinds of tools. Let us know if we can be of help to you. But more than anything, 11 weeks ago, when this tumultuous time came about, we decided as a company that we would halt all of our top of the funnel activity. So our relentlessness to grow our company, it just kind of all seemed frivolous, right? Like many of you were out there suffering, afraid that you were going to lose your businesses, and we knew that you needed help finding guidance, finding advice, and finding community. So we started this Facebook group. It's called KT Childcare Connect. I hope that each and every one of you will join the group. This is a place where we share content from our system, so we'll give you real data. We've even put our team on creating tools for you guys. We have a scenario management tool that allows you to understand when to bring employees back, what your revenues should look like with the right utilization, with all your costs and expenses. We're even releasing this week a PPP burn down tool. So it's a spreadsheet that'll allow you to put all the information of when you're bringing employees back, when you took PPP money, and when you need to spend it all. And we'll have all the guidance within the tool. But more than anything, this is a place where many of you have come to give advice and talk about features, talk about bringing your business back, talk about how to handle employee issues. Please join this group. And then for many of you that can be here, we understand that your schedules have been a little bit lighter than they were 11 weeks ago, with your centers maybe not being open or having a little more time. But that doesn't mean the 1 or 2 webinars a week that your schedules align with. Please make sure you sign up for them all, but also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have hundreds of hours now of content here. And anytime we do a webinar, or as our marketing team puts things out for you in our content team, be the first to know. It will come to your email. Subscribe. The fact that we only have 196 subscribers, that is one of the most undervalued assets there are out there. So please join our YouTube channel. And again, let us know in the KT Childcare Connect channel if there's any content that you'd like to see. Our team will jump all over it and get it out there for you. But today, I'm happy to present Chris and Jenna. They are coming to you live from Buffalo, New York. Oh, real quick. You will get certificates for this session. Do not email us for your certificates. We promise you we will email them out to you. And if you don't receive the email tomorrow by the end of the day, check your spam. It will be there. If you have questions, please pop them in the Q&A here in Zoom. We'll get to those at the end of the content. So Chris and Jenna will present here for about 45 minutes, and then we'll do about 10 minutes of Q&A. Jenna, Chris, don't feel too much pressure to respond to those. Genevieve and I will be either answering those in the background, or we'll be serving them up to you when you're done. But you can keep an eye on chat, because this group, they are chatty and it's fun. They love to get feedback. And guys, just so that I know you know, because you worked with early educators, but the people on this webinar are the gold of the earth. The greatness of my career is I get to work with these folks every day, and these are people that build bodies, souls, and minds, and they are just gold. So the chat is always awesome. Occasionally we'll get a real miniature troll, like, Chris, your beard, it looks okay. No, it looks great, by the way. But yeah, let's get started. So Chris and Jenna come to us from Buffalo, New York. They are at an agency called Parkway Digital. It's a web design and digital marketing agency. Parkway is also the creator of ParentSeek, which helps childcare professionals up their game and connect with parents. And one of the reasons we're here today is because we met you guys at Chris Murray's show in 2018 in Dallas, correct?
Yep.
And Jenna came over and I was like, hey, what are you doing working for these guys? You should just come work for us. And she gave me the Heisman, like, hey, back off. I like my job. And you seem a little unstable. And she was right. Absolutely. But today, they're going to discuss managing social media using Google My Business and other important tools to help leverage your business online. So I'm going to step aside and remove my unstable presence and let you guys go. If you need anything, holler. But glad to have you both here. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Scott. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hold this up. All right. So thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it. I'm going to kind of bring you through. Just get me situated here for a second. Perfect. Awesome. So I know it's been a kind of difficult time for everyone in small business. Our agency is a small business as well, so we're definitely kind of feeling the pinch. Scott and Genevieve had reached out and kind of asked us to put something together to kind of help centers start to market their center as things start to reopen. So put together some tips and tricks that we thought would be helpful to do kind of on a tight budget or just do yourself. So we're kind of run through those. Again, we hope everyone's staying safe and kind of bear with us. Presenting to such a large group is a little outside our wheelhouse. We're going to do the best that we can. So kind of who we are first. So as Scott had mentioned, Jenna and I work with a company called Parkway Digital, which is a small digital agency in Buffalo. ParentSeek came about kind of by accident. I have two young daughters, one of them 7, one of them 5. And when my oldest was starting their daycare, we had got them into a local center. And what had happened was they kind of figured out what I did, and we started working with them directly. And through some quick, optimization of their website and some light marketing, we were able to boost their business by 30%, fill the center. And honestly, I was really shocked at how easy it was to make such a big difference in a childcare center. So we started doing some research into the childcare market, and we saw that it was actually pretty underserved. So we thought it would be good to kind of build a learning platform for childcare owners and directors to kind of have a place to go for information on how to market their center, good tips, tutorials, to kind of leverage the knowledge base that we have that we use on a daily basis with all of our clients and kind of share that with the childcare market. And that is essentially how ParentSeek was born. So today we're going to break down the chat into 2 buckets. The first will be regarding top-level marketing techniques, things like basic messaging, reaching new parents, how to convert those parents into leads. And then Jenna, who's our social media manager at Parkway, will walk you through how to best leverage some of those online profiles. This is meant to be a top-line discussion, so we are going to leave some time at the end to try to answer any questions. If you need more marketing insight, you can always visit our website at childcaremarketing.com for more information. The first, I'll start to talk about kind of top-level marketing techniques and why those are important. The first piece is messaging. So messaging will differ depending on your audience. So we kind of want to isolate each into its own bucket. It's important because it can provide a real boost in credibility or some damaging effects if it's not done quite right. So it's important to understand what you say to your parents is important, especially in times such as these where both from the business perspective and from the parents' perspective, things can be a little stressful. So first I wanted to talk about engaging existing families, how you're going to engage with the existing families. So those that are already within your center are going to be different than how you're going to engage with new families. The number one priority should really be sharing your message with existing families to keep them updated and feeling safe. I know, as I mentioned, I have 2 young daughters. They both go to a center here locally, and really understanding, what's going on, what the policies are, is helpful and is meaningful for me as a parent. That should be your priority. Your existing families are going to be the easiest ones to get back into the funnel in terms of generating revenue. So focusing on bringing them back will be far easier than focusing on trying to market to new families outside. There's 4 kind of steps that I wanted to touch base with in terms of messaging that can help you reach those families and encourage that dialogue. The first one's email marketing. So they can be used for updating families on open dates, new procedures, but I'd also recommend sprinkling in some light content from time to time. As I mentioned, this is stressful for everybody. So, maybe do something like a picture or a drawing of the day from if you're open, if you have children, or just something to kind of keep it light and kind of provide a smile. It's easy for everyone to get overwhelmed with all the news that's going on today. So kind of sprinkling in some different things that are a little bit lighter is important. Social media is another huge one, as everybody knows. Jenna's going to touch base on that a little bit later, but we think that social media should be used to share a little bit lighter content, photos, updates on openings, policies. I'd still include how you're planning on keeping your children safe with steps and procedures, but I wouldn't fill the social media feed with COVID-related content. Website content is really important in terms of messaging for existing families. I wouldn't probably change that much on your website. You know, what we've been doing for clients outside the child care center has been having, you know, a notification bar at the top, just where people can, if they're interested in how businesses are adapting with COVID, to really, you know, read a little bit more about that. But I would not take over the major presence of your website with COVID related information. I'd leverage more your email marketing to drive users maybe to a blog to read about updates and procedures and programs, things of that nature. And then messaging apps is the fourth one to really help engage with existing families. I know the center that we uses tadpoles, and it's, while most of the time it's directing us to our email or to the website, it's helpful, you know, especially as a working parent who's at home. I'm inundated all day long with things, so getting a notification on my phone is helpful. So whatever messaging app that you use, just a way to push notifications to parents, I think, is really important. And then messaging in terms of engaging with new families. So this is a strange reality we're all living in, but it also could be an opportunity to differentiate your center from others. Not all centers are going to know how or will be marketing. So I would use this time to share how you're different, and more importantly, to be authentic in your messaging. That could make your center stand out from, say, like a larger corporate model. The reality is there probably will be market share that opens up. So it could be an opportunity for you to really share what makes your specific center special. 3 main points for sharing that messaging. Social media would basically be in line with what I had shared previously. Lighter content, I wouldn't inundate it with a lot of the COVID stuff, but, you know, keeping an open dialogue. As Jenna will kind of get into, Facebook pushes content based on their algorithm to people that are more likely or have engaged with you previously. So that's why posting on a regular basis is so important. If you post once every 2 weeks, then the likelihood of your posts showing up on people's feeds are pretty low. So it's important to kind of do it on a regular basis. Second being website content. So again, it would be similar to what I mentioned previously. Make sure to keep your website content topic and timely. And then the last would be press releases. Now, this is a little bit different maybe than what everyone's kind of used to, but press releases are really helpful to kind of get your messaging out to news outlets and community leaders. These outlets, especially today, are looking for leadership and opinion from people who are in these specific markets. So take advantage of that and make yourself an authority on childcare. That will drive some interest, maybe some news coverage to your center or to your website, but that could also give parents some reassurance that you have your center under control and really know what you're doing. Next part I'm going to kind of touch base on is how to reach new parents. Most of this you can do yourself, but there are some items on here that you would it's kind of a multi-step process. So you don't have to do all of these things. I would kind of look at them as a step-by-step piece and kind of optimize that way. All of these together are really the foundation for an effective marketing campaign. So it's really important to address them, but again, it's not imperative that everything gets done on day one. It's really an ongoing process. So one way to reach new parents is with Google search. So this is your typical pay-per-click campaign. I know this can be a little overwhelming for some people if you've never dealt with that before. Creating a simple search campaign is not overly difficult. Google provides a number of keyword research tools and lots of resources on how to set up an account. I would recommend, if you aren't comfortable with it, hiring a professional to set this up for you. Google does have account managers that you can leverage. We've seen where people sometimes take on too much and do it themselves, and then they end up burning through a ton of cash. So if you're comfortable, give it a shot, especially in this market. It's not going to be overly complicated. But if you are unsure, you could reach out to Google, or you could hire someone to set that up for you. The nice thing about the childcare market is that there usually isn't a ton of competition. So cost per click should be pretty minimal. And it should be pretty easy to start seeing leads come in right away. The way that pay-per-click works is it's similar to like eBay, for example. So if I want top placement, I might say, all right, I'll pay $1 a click. And if someone wants to get ahead of me, they'll say, okay, I'll pay $1.25. That person may not pay $1.25. They may pay just slightly what the next bidder would pay. So maybe $1.01. So it varies. There's lots of different variables that get into pricing. but that's essentially how it works. But what really drives up the overall costs is really the competition. So based on our experience, there's not a ton of people doing this. It depends on where you are. Obviously, if you're in a bigger city, you're going to have more competition, but this could be a way to quickly get new people searching for daycare centers into the sales funnel. Social media, again, is another huge one, as I'm sure you all know. Jenna's going to talk about this again, but it could be, social could be a huge opportunity for your center. You really want to try to post as often as you can and best engage with your audience, whether good or bad. So, you know, managing your reviews is super important. You're not always going to get a positive review. So take advantage of that and kind of show them how you kind of manage conflict. Everyone understands that, you know, not everyone's going to be happy with everything. So especially when you're dealing with people's children, but keeping on top of those things is going to be really important to not only set yourself as a validator, but to show potential parents, you know, that you're an authority and you're really on top of things. Now, your website is really, really, really important. This is where all of your new leads end up. So whether you're running a pay-per-click campaign, any social media stuff, press releases, what have you, they all end up at your website. You want to make sure that your site is mobile friendly, so uses responsive design, and has strong call to action for parents. So for example, having a lot of sections where it says, you know, sign up for a tour here, and then a button that takes them to a lead form. You really want to drive users through your website the way that you want them to kind of move through it. Keeping navigation simple, straightforward. The easier to use, the better. But the strong call to action is really, really important. You really want to give new parents kind of a roadmap of how you want them to kind of navigate through your website. Another piece being review sites. So on average, 9 out of 10 individuals that read business reviews before visiting. So keeping your reviews under control is essential. As you can see on the slide, 88% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. So there's 3 ways that you can kind of reference and kind of stay on top of your reviews. So the first one is Google My Business. Jenna's going to talk about this one, but this is essentially if someone searches for your childcare center, the little box that shows up on the right-hand side under Google with kind of the map, that is your Google My Business account. Once you confirm and take over your account, you can manage your reviews, respond, and that's going to be really, really important. What I see periodically is companies are out there that will sell you reviews, which is you'll pay them and then they'll put positive reviews on your Google My Business account. Do not do that. I know it's an easy thing to say, oh, great, I could pay and I'll have, you know, 300 5-star reviews. Someone who knows what they're doing can look and see, you know, you can click on someone who's posted a review and it will show you all the places that they've posted and what they've posted elsewhere. So I've seen this a lot where, you know, not even a childcare center, but any business, they'll have all these great reviews, but I'll use a childcare for example. So the childcare center will have all these positive reviews. I'll click on someone who posted a review and then I can see that they gave 5-star reviews to childcare centers all over the country. Well, it's probably pretty unlikely that they have children spread all over the place. So I know that they can be enticing, but I would really, really, really recommend staying away from that. The one way to really fill your reviews with 5-star or 4 or 5-star ratings is really to encourage your existing families to post reviews. And again, if you've had a bad one, use it as an opportunity to show how you manage conflict. Don't try to bury it. Don't worry about it. Everyone's going to have a bad experience once in a while, but kind of use it as an opportunity to really show that you care about everyone's experience and to learn more about what you can do to better yours. So now that we've kind of gone through ways to really talk about, you know, bringing people into the site through messaging, through some real top-level marketing techniques, the last piece of that puzzle is really converting leads into registrations. We discussed some simple ways that you can increase your rate of success at this stage, the last stage of the marketing. So email marketing is a big way to kind of close the deal. Every lead that comes in should be entered into a CRM or an email platform. I really recommend creating a drip marketing campaign to ultimately kind of create touch points for new families and to let them know that you're really interested in them coming in for a tour. So similar to the website, call to actions are really important on your emails. Encourage users to, you know, click here to schedule a tour, click here for more information. Really encourage them to take an action opposed to just providing information to them. The likelihood that they'll actually create or complete that action is a lot higher if you ask them to. The next piece is advertising. So I know we touched on the pay-per-click a bit ago, but one thing that we like to use a lot in childcare centers, but also with any of our clients, is remarketing. I know we've all done online shopping and had the product we're looking for really follow us around. I know it can be annoying, but it really works. Remarketing ads are an opportunity to kind of stay in front of new families as they browse the web after they visited your site. And I don't want to get too into the weeds with remarketing, but you can isolate, you can create different groups based on where they visited on your site. So if someone came in and maybe looked at your newborn section, you can run ads to them that just relate to newborn. And the messaging for remarketing should be more than learn more. It should be book a tour, sign up today, because in theory, these users have already engaged with your center. So you really want to use this opportunity to push them to the finish line with messaging tailored specifically to them. And then kind of the last one is really get creative with your tours. Obviously, having people in for a tour is probably difficult, if not impossible right now, and probably will be for a while. So I'd say get creative. Do Zoom calls and walk parents through your center after hours. Maybe do a Facebook event on Facebook Live and have a lot of parents do the tour together. Make it interactive. I mean, this could be an opportunity to make your center kind of stand out against others in your area. And again, these are really easy, low-cost things to do yourself, but that will give potential parents the peace of mind and understanding that you're still doing tours and taking on new families and kind of all the things that you're doing to kind of keep everyone's children safe. So as I showed, breaking down the marketing approach into easy steps, it allows you to kind of start to make a difference and kind of drive new change. I know it can be overwhelming. Again, I wouldn't look at it as you have to do everything right out of the gate. Kind of really take your time and step by step, kind of move through and kind of slowly start to optimize. And then over time, as you build that up, you'll have a really effective marketing engine kind of generating new leads and kind of keeping that funnel full. So I'm going to pass it over to Jenna, who is our social media manager at Parkway and for ParentSeek. And she's going to talk about how to leverage the free online profiles.
Hey everyone. So my day today is managing social media profiles for some of our clients, from anything from Facebook and Instagram, which we'll cover today, Google My Business, those are our favorite free ones, to Twitter. We do Hootsuite, any sort of scheduling platforms as well. And we just basically work as a team with our clients so that we can push out content on a really consistent basis, making sure that everything is current for them. My favorite part about it is that it's free. So a lot of you guys are working on tight budgets right now, and it can be done from home. So while your schedules are a little bit lighter and you guys aren't in your centers with kids, I think that it's going to be the perfect place to start, get everything in order so that you can kind of hit the ground running when your center is open. So for Facebook and Instagram, you might not have an account for both of them. And what's important is that you keep one account that's really thorough and it's well maintained. All of the information is updated. It's built out with photos, information. Sorry, Chris, could you go back?
Oh, sorry.
Rather than having like 3 accounts that are kind of, inconsistent with posting, or you might forget about one for a week or a month, it's really just, I think, best to focus on one, make it your best, put your best foot forward. And it doesn't matter if you're on all of them, as long as people see your presence, your personality, and your information come across and it's consistent. That's really number one. So making sure that your business details are correct and consistent across all of your social platforms. When you guys open back up, one of the most important things moving forward is going to be safety, and it's going to be trust. And it might be hard for some of your families to get to that point. And so you want these small details in the beginning, these touch points. You want them correct right away so that they know that you're on top of everything, that they're kind of safe going back into your center, and they're feeling good about the relationship. So business name, your address, phone number, your email, and your website. You would be surprised how many people don't keep this updated, and just making sure that it's across all the channels is going to make sure that when people are looking for your center, that they get there easily with one click and they can find exactly what they're looking for. So my favorite thing when I go through accounts is working my way through the settings. If it's already there, then just double check the information. It won't take you more than 5 minutes to double check everything. And if it's not, just making sure that everything is filled out, nothing is missing. And we'll start with Facebook first. You'll see on the left side, we have our Parent Seek account. You will start by your pages, or the front pages settings, and then you'll go under page information, and you will work your way through maybe 20 or 25 tabs on the left side. You'll see your general information, your about, services, reviews, and there's probably 15 more that don't show up on the front side of your page, like messaging. Making sure that your notifications are on, that messages come through the way that you'd like them to. You can prompt people to ask a question about your page, or write to your page and request contact information or tour signups. Making sure that the notifications will come to your phone, your email, so that you'll never miss a message, a request, a review, a comment, or any of those engagements. You really want to be on top of it and responding and making sure that people know that you're there, you're listening, and that you're interested and you're ready to welcome their families. So go into that settings and then the page information on the back end, and just be sure that your address is correct. Moving forward, you might have different hours, so that's going to be really important. And then services. So if any of that information has changed, just be in there, put in a description, and make sure that you can share that with your clients. For Instagram, it's a little bit easier. To the right of your logo, you'll see your name. So ours says Parent Seek, and then Edit Profile. If you click on Edit Profile, there's just going to be 5 or 6 fields to fill in, and that's going to be the description, and most importantly is the link. So where do you want to send them? Ideally, this is going to go back to your website like Chris was talking about. You really want them to get that call to action, click there, and then find all the information that you've carefully posted on your website and any other collateral. It might just be a Facebook page. If you don't have a website, that's fine too. Anywhere that you can kind of just collect their information and offer up, what's going on at your center and up-to-date communications, that's where you want to be. So we have just describe your mission, your values, and services. On Instagram, you're working with a little bit smaller of a space, so make sure that your information is short and concise. All of your posts want to be informative. Let them know if it's anything that's of interest to you, it's going to be of interest to your families as well. So profile and cover images, you want to make sure that your branding is consistent. If they are looking at your Google My Business profile and it has a logo from 3 years ago, they might not put 2 and 2 together that your Facebook profile is the one that they're supposed to be looking at. So we just always say, just double check, view it like you would one of your clients. Just go to your account and you can say, type in yourself, just Google yourself, Google your center, and see what pops up, and just make sure that those first 4 or 5 consistent links, they're all representing your business and that it's your childcare center, updated imagery, and your rooms might look a little bit different after COVID-19. So make sure that you highlight the changes and the safety measures that you're using moving forward. So on Facebook, you will have the call to action, and Chris touched on this a little bit. It's going to be right underneath your cover image, and we have it circled there. It says contact us. Use the call to action that best suits your center. So if you roll over that blue button, a little drop down will appear and it will say edit button, remove button. We don't suggest that. If you edit it, it will pop up 12 or 15 options, and it can be anything from sign up, learn more, visit website, contact us, watch video, call now. Make sure that you're directing your parents where you want them to go. So it might be learn more, and you might want to send them to the homepage of your website where you've put all of this important information. Just make sure that that button is working for you. And then we'll go to sharing our message across social media channels. So once all of your information is updated, you can begin to share content. And this is where I have the most fun with social. You can infuse some personality back in there. I know you're probably missing your kids and your families, and I bet they're missing you too. So it'll be nice to kind of have your centers filled back up when we're open. So scheduling Facebook posts. Facebook's most helpful feature, I think, is going to be the scheduling. This is what I do on the day-to-day, and I would say for any of our clients, I schedule from 2 weeks, maybe a month in advance, and what that does is it keeps all of my posting consistent. It constantly seems like your business is on social media, updating. You never miss a day that you thought you wanted to post, and it allows you to kind of be flexible in what you're doing and without kind of like making social media kind of like a burden. So I like it because by doing it a month at a time, it gets it out of the way. It allows you to focus on some other more important aspects of what you guys are doing running at the center. So what you will do is actually hit the Publishing Tools tab, and then you'll go to Scheduled Posts and Create. So if there's something every Friday that happens, you can post it at 8 a.m. on Friday morning so that you don't have to worry about it that day. If you have something coming up for the weekend or kids need to bring something back on Monday, it just keeps it top of mind, and it constantly keeps your business into the feed of your parents. And I think that that's amazing because it frees up a ton of time when you're scheduling in bulk. So Facebook Live. If you have any big announcements or any behind the scenes things that you want to share with your families, this is going to be a really great way to reintroduce them into dropping their kids off. So streaming real life content is really popular, and it's eye-catching for viewers. And when you hit that Facebook Live button, it will actually send a notification to all of your followers. So it keeps you, you know, it will get their attention. They can ask questions and comment in a real time. They will watch you, and you are live from start to finish. So make sure that when you click the button that you are ready. It's a really fun and simple way to use for daycares and just building relationships with them. So take a tour of your facility. Maybe the kids want to see what their classroom looks like now. Maybe walk parents through as you explain new check-in procedures. If you guys have a hand washing station or hand sanitizer in the front, maybe you just, you know, walk them through as if they're dropping their kids off at school. I know that their kids will probably be excited to see everything, and it will keep the kids and the families engaged with you. And it also lets them know just what's going on and what you've done in this, you know, post-pandemic situation to move forward for safety and the health of your families. Facebook groups, if you are not using them, I highly suggest to start. This is a really nice way to keep your families that have already signed up. So not as much the new client side, but this is really establishing relationships with parents and kids that are already enrolled at the center. And if you have specific age groups like newborns, toddlers, and so on, you can keep those families in the specific groups. If there's something going on in their classroom, you can push live content and updates just to them rather than on the public facing Facebook page where you kind of like engage with new families, or if you're looking for new signups and tours. This is going to be a more intimate look at the daycare, what's going on, maybe what lunch you're serving that day or what crafts are coming up. So utilizing Facebook groups allows you to be more personal in what you're posting. You might be able to share photos without giving their consent. If the parents are already in there, they obviously know that you're sharing them. So it's a really nice way to kind of share what's going on in the day-to-day and not bogging down that public-facing page. For Instagram stories, this is going to be the exact same thing as Facebook Live, but just on the different platform. So when you do this, you can share videos, you can edit them before you go on here. So people will always get your notifications, whether you're going live. You can also upload content just like on Snapchat. So maybe you want to share a photo. You can put polls, behind the scenes, photos of your kids, tips that you like, crafts that you're doing, food that you're feeding, safety things that you're doing. This is a really fun place. It's very flexible. Any sort of content kind of fits in Instagram, which is so great. And in the stories, it's live for 24 hours. So it goes away. So the next day you have a whole new, information to share and update your families with. And it can be super fun. There's stickers and, the heart eyes, and people can react and engage with these and ask questions from there. And there's been a ton of Instagram users that also say that they are just viewing those stories at the top rather than scrolling through the feeds. So stories is a really trendy place to kind of put your content and let people know that you're open, you're ready for families to return. We have here like promote a recent blog post, something fun that you're doing at your center. So kind of put your like fun, interesting pictures and any sort of content or media up in Instagram stories. That will be a fun place to have it live. So Google My Business. Google My Business is when you search something online is kind of that like box of information that pops up first above the links. And this comes from Google My Business, and it's going to be the easy link to your phone number, your website, your email, most importantly, your address, your reviews, and your maps. So having your information here updated is the most important thing. You can find it by going to google.com/business. And if you haven't claimed your business yet, make sure that you do that too. So if you Google it and it doesn't pop up, that probably means it's never been claimed. That's going to be a great first step. If you have, make sure that that information is updated. That's most important. A lot of times people are using this for maps just to get to your center. So having it just kind of up at the top of the screen is going to be a great place to have them link out to your website, your social media profiles, and other information that you want to keep up in front. So you can see on the right side of this screen, this is the Parent Seek one. So if they were to double click that address, it would open their maps. There's easy links to our website. They can save the listing, and they can also call directly from there. So Google can share your center this way. Also, if people were just typing in childcare centers near you or near me. So making sure that you have claimed that listing is going to be most important. And it's going to work the same way as your Facebook and your Instagram profile. When you go through the settings, there's going to be about 15 tabs on the left side of your screen that you're going to want to work through each one, just making sure that everything is up to date. Google Keywords is going to be one of the options on the side. So you will probably want to choose childcare center, childcare business. They'll give you some suggestions. So if you're not sure what to put, you can add an industry and then they'll kind of cater to what you put in there. But this is going to allow them to deliver your business to somebody who's maybe looking for that childcare center near me. They would pull in your account. So managing your reviews and comments. Electronic word of mouth is going to be just as important as, somebody at the store saying, I know your kids are entering school, or maybe they're not there yet. We have this after school program that we want to fill, and so on. 84% of consumers reported trusting recommendations from influencers, friends, family members, and peer networks above all other kinds of marketing. And so this is why it's super important, like Chris mentioned before, to respond to your reviews, whether they are good or bad. And it's really, really easy to get a bad review and kind of run away from it. But responding to those positive and negative reviews allows families to see that you're super serious about what's happening at your center, that you're paying attention to what's happening, and if there is something wrong, you're going to take the steps required to make it right. Of course, responding to reviews that are good, that's really fun, and you're going to want to get those from families that are already enrolled in your center. So, asking them if they had a good experience, if they could go on. A lot of people aren't going to worry about taking 4 or 5 minutes to just leave you a nice review. So don't be worried about just asking the families that are already enrolled in your center if they wouldn't mind leaving those for you. And they can leave them for you on Facebook or the Google My Business review. So on the next slide, I'll show you, this is what the back end of the Google My Business looks like. So you'll see on the left side, you have the home. This is where, kind of your generic information lives. Your information under that will be your address, your phone number. Insights will be how many people found your listing that month. You can search those analytics by month, year, week. The reviews is where you will see, they'll come in, they'll be dated. So you want to make sure that you're responding to those within a day or two. Messaging, photos, you can upload your photos there. And then the next one that will be applicable will be services. And if you click into there, you can tell them, what age groups you serve, if you have, lunch options, breakfast options, early morning pickup, late pickup, making sure that you kind of fill those out so that people can understand that before they even call, they know what you offer. That's going to be a really helpful service. And then underneath that, you know, settings, managing locations, linked accounts, you can link out to your social accounts as well. So Google Posts, on the next one, you see there's a post option on the left side, letting moms and dads know how you're adjusting your center services by updating your profile. This isn't just going to be for COVID-19 updates. So you can share quick news, childcare blog posts, special offerings, whatever's happening at your center. You can click that add update right there in the center with the exclamation point and share it just like a blog post, only it will live on your Google My Business profile. This is just another way to kind of show moms and dads that you're on top of things, you know, what's happening at your center. Maybe they've been a client for a long time. Maybe they have a newborn and they're interested in joining. But this allows them to just kind of see what's going on at the center. You can really infuse your personality here and share photos and just keep them up to date. So just like you would on Facebook or Instagram, this kind of gives you some more creativity. So photos to Google My Business. So your logo, there's also interior and exterior photos of your facility, and they'll kind of prompt you to do that because they want people to know that they're at the right location. And you can also share photos of your staff and other users that you add to Google My Business. After that, we always just suggest high quality photos. So if you have them on your phone, don't just upload anything, but if you have some really nice shots of your rooms, obviously coming back after COVID-19, everything's gonna be like clean and tidy. It might be a really good time to kind of update all of that imagery. And so you'll just find that on that settings side. And yeah, underneath photos, you can put them there, and then just making sure that your brand is consistent. So whatever logo's on your Instagram and your Facebook, you're gonna want it to show up on Google My Business as well. So we just said, remember, things don't need to be perfect. Make your information easy and your voice authentic. And this is one of the best things about social media. It is a journey and it's a process, and you don't have to be amazing at it today. But what's important is that you are posting, and you know, frequently. Your presence is online, and you want to make sure that that information is correct. And yeah, I think that it's a really fun way, and it's a free way, most importantly, as returning to COVID-19 is going to help you guys kind of reopen your center and just find that excitement again to yeah, welcome your families back in.
Thanks, Jenna. So we wanted to at this point kind of open up to questions. If there is value, we did put the presentation up on our website, which is available to download at the URL seen on your screen. But Scott, Jenna, if you kind of open up to questions, we're ready to roll.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Great presentation. We had some real hot ones. First one is, do you think Kangaroo Time's the best branding name ever?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, I had a customer make fun of me yesterday for that. They said, we think it's the dumbest name that we've ever heard. I said, well, I made it up. Thanks a lot. Anyway, I digress. I wasn't concerned about that at all. Okay, my preschool is connected to a K-6, and their website is under the academy as a whole. I do not have access to the website as I'm not allowed. Should I focus on going through Facebook and Instagram for marketing? I think this is a great question, because this is a tooling question, right? What would your thoughts be if you didn't have access to a website? I know for us, our website is such a universal landing spot, but social is also good. But for lead generation, what are your thoughts?
I would say if you're not able to edit their website, if it's possible to create your own, would be kind of a workaround that I would encourage. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a big, robust site. I mean, you could use something as simple as, Wix or Squarespace to kind of create just a single page landing page that you can kind of drive people to, and then really try to leverage social media and even advertising, Google search, what have you, to really try to drive users to that specific landing page. That would be kind of my workaround.
Great. Yeah. yeah, Wix and Squarespace, $10 a month. If you really want to go rogue and build your own. Any thoughts as far as like optimization for those types of services if you're
So
using them?
yeah, I mean, Wix and Squarespace, I personally do not like Wix. I mean, we're kind of have a biased opinion only because we build these things all day long. So Wix, I don't love. If we have clients that are looking for like a low cost website platform, usually we'll build them in Squarespace. Typically, we build everything in WordPress at Parkway. You're going to be limited in your optimization when you're using existing platform. You're stuck with a specific theme and a template. So you're not able to optimize images. You just don't have the flexibility that you would have with a truly custom site in terms of really trying to improve your search engine optimization. But in a pinch, if you just need a place to drive leads, they certainly will do the job. And then in theory, with that, you can grow the center, you can grow your revenue, and then you can really truly invest in your own custom site that you'll be able to really optimize and grow your organic traffic.
All right, we've got a question here. I'm not familiar with the term drip marketing. Can you expand on the definition of drip marketing? Maybe give me an example. Great question.
Sure. Jenna, do you want to talk about that with the MailChimp?
Yeah, so for email marketing, drip marketing might be like if you go to a site and you sign up for their newsletter and you get an email within 2 or 3 minutes that says, welcome, thanks for signing up. You might have been interested in a product, so they might send you an email that's automatically generated. And what that does is, like pre-scheduling for social media posts, it allows you to save time. So if somebody signs up for a tour, they'll kind of be dropped into this list, and you can set up a drip marketing campaign that once they receive the first one, then maybe a week later they receive information about a tour, and then a week later they receive one that's maybe come in, sign up for the tour. And so that you kind of move them through the like customer funnel, and by pre-building that, they'll automatically go on that journey just by signing up for that very first email.
Yeah, I like to call that the nurture journey. And there are some companies that specialize in our space. So Childcare CRM is one of our partners that does that very, very well. You know, they can actually automate that nurture journey over time. Really effective tools. And I'm not plugging Childcare CRM. But I love those guys, and I think they help our customers and you guys with the top of the funnel activity. I think it's great. Okay, so what information do you suggest requesting in a website lead form? Very good question.
I usually recommend requesting as little as possible. What we've done on a bunch of the sites that we've built for childcare centers is kind of your name, your email, your telephone. And then instead of giving them the message field, we'll have a drop down. So it'll say, I'm interested in, it'll say, tell me more about, costs, or tell me more about childcare options, or kind of some pre-built selections that you can use to kind of tag users once you enter them into your CRM. The less that you give people in terms of options, the more likely they are to fill out the form. So we've had better luck with just name, email, and telephone number to start.
The more information, the better. But I think if you create too much friction, like if you want somebody to write a book, you're going to get churn at
Right.
the point of capture, right? So make it very simple, get the information you need. You should understand attribution and where they come from, just inherently. But if you don't ask that, if you don't have the tools, for sure. But yeah, reduce all friction. This is an interesting one from Ginger. She says, we have reviews that Google wouldn't post because we are a preschool and no longer allowing reviews for schools. Any thoughts? I haven't heard this, but
Yeah,
again,
I haven't either.
I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. I have not seen that. because the ones that we work with are more centers and even all of our other accounts. That's a good question. I don't have an answer for that, unfortunately.
I mean, the good thing is that Google is so well supported. There should be some sort of help option either below that review or somebody to reach out to. There's a ton of Google managers that you should be able to point your question to. So if you ever have something like that, just write them an email and say, hey, what's going on with this account? And hopefully they'll supply somebody to review that for you.
Yeah, and it's possible too. I mean, Jenny, you had kind of talked about the updating your Google My Business in terms of like your classification. Maybe if you claim your Google My Business listing, change it from a school to a childcare facility and see if that's kind of a workaround.
Genevieve was head of marketing at a high school, a private high school. Genevieve, any thoughts or experience there with restrictions from Google? That is, if you don't have a screaming 1-year-old on your lap.
So I think it may be coming down from YouTube because YouTube's been cracking down on videos for children. So I'll do some research into that. I haven't heard anything about Google reviews, but I wouldn't be surprised just seeing what's coming from YouTube. But I'll send along any information. I'll post it in our Facebook group if I do find it.
Awesome. Okay. Guys, we've gotten a few questions on virtual tours, and this one specifically says, and what tone and content should be kind of shared? Any thoughts on that?
In terms of virtual tours, I would try to keep it, again, like I would focus on the positives. Obviously, you want to touch on the things that you're dealing with just to kind of deal with what we're all dealing with right now. But I would kind of try to keep it as normal as possible. I don't know if that answers the question or not, but all anyone seems to be talking about is this. And I find from just speaking as a parent, if I was going through a tour, that would not want to be all I learned about. I would want to know about what procedures and such were in place. But I would try to keep it light and keep it friendly. I mean, you really want to work with someone who really seems to care, and is going to care for your child the same way that you would. So I would just kind of focus on the authentic voice and kind of have a mix of everything, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. Josie asked, at our daycare, we're not allowed to use a cell phone in the classroom. And in most states, if a staff in the classroom has a phone, they don't count against your ratios, or they don't count in favor of your ratios. So this is one reason, we've worked with governance and licensing. Typically the form factor that's preferred is a tablet. And tablets are super inexpensive. So if you need to equip your classrooms with a tablet, you can get them for as little as $75 a tablet. And you can also put mobile device management platform on them. So, for many of our schools, they completely block out and black label. They won't allow their teachers to go to anything except for the Kangaroo Time website, or they might whitelist YouTube to share videos, but we suggest a tablet. Got it. Okay, guys, fantastic content. Really good feedback as usual in chat, and we got a few messages. One almost, Patricia, I wanted to thank you for that. That's awesome. You are so welcome. And again, all of you out there, if there's any topic or content that we can bring to you, we're here to advocate for you. Please let us know, and we will do our best to get it to you. Jenna, Chris, any closing remarks?
No, I appreciate you guys kind of bringing us in the fold. I mean, we really, this is a tough time, for a lot of small businesses, and, having kids in childcare now, it's can be incredibly stressful. And I saw that Darlene is on here. That's where my children go, and she's great. And, you know, I know Darlene through childcare, but also through some professional groups that we're part in. And I know she's been working really hard. I know that kind of everyone's been working really hard to kind of get back up and running. So anything we're able to do to kind of help that, we're happy to jump in. So again, I just appreciate you guys looping us in on that.
Yeah, just good luck. And I know everyone's looking forward to when their doors open again. So just have fun and be safe and welcome your families back with open arms. And I know that, you know, they're looking forward to it.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks so much. Everybody, as always, we really appreciate the feedback. We appreciate and we're humbled by you being here. Again, please reach out to myself or Genevieve if there's anything we can do for you or provide for you. And we will see you next week. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.